Hey YouTube, what goes on? Welcome to Disavowed Action Figures live at 7:05. How we doing, everybody? Happy Wednesday. I have never been, maybe that's a hyperbolic statement. I have not been this excited for a live at 7:05 in a while. I couldn't tell you in how long, but in a while. Because I've been squirreling away, holding on to the Age of Apocalypse Wave 2 for like weeks, and I wanted to crack these bad boys open so freaking bad. Wanted to build Colossus so freaking bad. I love Age of Apocalypse. I went on a tangent over the summer, picking up all the issues I was missing. There weren't many. I was only missing maybe like 6 out of the 39 books that encompassed AoA, not counting Legion Quest, which we'll talk about. However, I freaking love Age of Apocalypse. I will not apologize for that. I know it's not a common thing. I know it's a very divisive topic, but I freaking love AoA, and I loved finding Wave 1. We actually found Wave 1 really early on in the age of my channel. I believe Six Packs Knickknacks was with me, good friend of the channel. But we were on a Walmart hunt. We found it in Allentown, and that was very, very early on. If you go back, the toy hunt's probably awful because I was just kind of getting my feet under me. Not that I'm much better now, but freaking loved the comics. Real quick background, Age of Apocalypse was a crossover event that took over every X-Men book back in 1995. The thing was, there was no friggin' internet back in 1995, or there was, but it was very sparingly used. So it's not like today where you can hide something like that. You know, an actor shows up on set, we know about it in 15 minutes anymore because of Twitter. This storyline shocked the comic book world because X-Men was so freaking popular in the 1990s. And they decided to scrap everything and go with this line-wide, essentially new story, reboot, alternate Earth X-Men story. And it was just classic 90s art. Joe Mad, the Kuberts. Oh, it was so freaking good. Freaking, I'd have been around 13 years old. 13-year-old me ate this up with a freaking spoon, man. Freaking loved it. So before we get, and we're gonna have to, I'm actually gonna have to go bang, bang, bang here. I'm gonna have to run through these figures. Obviously, Legion's already open. I got him via Target online. I used my Target savings or whatever to pay for the shipping. I blame Dark Joker Zin for that over at the Infinity Equation podcast because they had an unboxing with their guys over there, and he opened it up on a Sunday night, and I was like, screw it, I'm ordering it. Then I got super lucky, thanks to my buddy Pat and Matt. Shout out to him if he's watching at home or on the playback. He said, hey, I heard that it was just at Walmart, the AoA was there. I ran over, I picked up all the figures, and boom, the rest is history. So before we get into ripping open the figures, which I will be doing in order of the figures I'm the most excited about, obviously ending in the build of the Build-A-Figure Colossus. Let's see who's here and say hello. Yo, Lacerda Photo, what's going on, buddy? How are you doing today, sir? Lacerda's posted some great pictures over on his Instagram page. Check him out. Stanley, what's going on, Stan? How you doing, man? What's up? Four Feathers is in the house. What's going on, Four Feathers? How you doing, buddy? Lacerda says, ding, ding. It's time. Hey, everybody. NJ Tree's in the house. How you doing, man? NJ Tree, we are creeping closer and closer to that New Jersey Toy Con. Have it on the calendar. I can't freaking wait. I'm so pumped for that. Thomas Brock, how's it going, man? What's up? I think this is the first live stream that he's caught. That is awesome, man. Glad to have you here. And it's an exciting night. It's a big night. We're building Age of Apocalypse Colossus tonight and ripping open all the figures. Six Pack says it's Wednesday. You know what that means. I would slap that on a t-shirt, but I would probably lose a lot of money. Will Lacerda says, hey, you know, yeah, big night tonight to see what they're going to do with Moxley being off the card, right? Midwest Toy Box, what's going on, man? How you doing, sir? What's the good story? Trans Aaron, PA Coalition, what's going on, Aaron? How you doing, man? How you digging that barbecue figure? I know you had it pretty darn early, but the rest of us are getting them in pre-order right now. Midwest Toy Box says, just found a whole rack of barbecue. That is awesome. Usually we'd say a barbecue rack, right? Like a rack of ribs on a barbecue. Whereas instead we're finding a peg or a rack of barbecue figures. So yeah, man, they're going to hit with a fury. I think that they are going to be stacked, very similar to Major Blood. I don't think they're messing around anymore with Joe's. I think it's all speed ahead. They're just going to flood the market with these things to cut out the scalpers. Mama said Pop You Out says, what's up? And let me remind you, if you forgot, the best name in social media history, Mama said Pop You Out. Very cool. Hey guys, before I forget, I kind of teased it a little bit last week. At the end of the stream tonight, I just have a real small thank you for everybody who supports the channel and is here at the end of the show. So stick around if you can. At the end, if I don't bring it up near the end, please somebody give me a kick in the ribs and remind me. Nothing big. I'm not giving away my Chris Jericho 1 of 5,000 or anything crazy like that. But just something small that I've been able to accumulate that I would like to share with everybody who does support the channel. So if you're here live, we'll talk about it at the end. Let's see what we got going on here. Barbecue's an awesome figure, says Trans Aaron. Lacerda says, I got to work on more barbecue photos. Yeah, man, I'm opening mine next Wednesday. I was going to do it tonight, but honestly, I didn't want to do that the same night as AoA. I wanted to go X-Men theme tonight. So can't wait for the bats and the alley viper. Oh, dude, the fact that people are getting them at Walmart already or somebody got them online is insane. Forfeather says, my lovely toy huntress of a wife picked me up 2 zombie caps. That's awesome, man. That's so cool. Your wife helps you out. That's a great lady that you got there, man. And she's got a good guy, of course. Lacerda says, for real, bats and alleys are needed. Yeah, dude. I'm hoping for the holiday season they randomly just freaking show up. All right, so let's launch right into this because, again, lots of things to open tonight. We got a build-a-figure to build, which is always fun to do on the channel. So if you didn't have the background of Age of Apocalypse, as I said, it's a 1995 story, about 39 books. All the X titles were converted into basically 4-issue minis that ran for about 4 months. You had Astonishing X-Men, Amazing X-Men, X-Force had its own book. Excalibur transferred into a new book. Gambit and the X-Turtles had their own book. I'm not going to read through them all, but they're all phenomenal. I love them. It's a piece of 90s goodness. It was all basically launched by the prequel series Legion Quest, where this crazy-looking son of a gun right here was introduced as David Haller, who was the long-lost son of a certain Charles Xavier. Essentially, Legion wants to make it up to his father for not being a good son, and he attempts to kill Magneto. Well, spoiler alert, he screws it up and he kills his father instead. All right, so he ends up accidentally killing his own father, which leads to a fractured universe where the X-Men basically are never developed. And instead, it turns out that Magneto, who is mourning the death of his friend, who, again, Xavier saves Magneto, he essentially steps in and forms the X-Men, where Apocalypse then comes to power much earlier, leading to Apocalypse taking over the world, except for a small stronghold in Europe. Calamity ensues. For some reason, Bishop retains some of his memories from Marvel 616, which then leads into, again, the series where it starts with X-Men Age of Apocalypse Alpha. It ends with X-Men Omega. Not Omega either, not Omega, not the Omega. I can't do her voice. Omega, not her, not the Star Wars Omega. We're not talking about her. It's X-Men Omega. Okay. Of course, you had hardcore foil covers going on back then. All the books had all the freaking gimmicks, which, you know what? I don't care. I freaking loved every single one of them. Whether it was a hologram card on the front for Fatal Attractions, whether it was a lenticular front cover that went over the art, made it look better. I don't care. Like X-Men Prime, if you're an X-Men fan, you know what I'm talking about. Generation X is also foil cover. Whatever. Loved all those books. Loved Age of Apocalypse. That's a brief background. And then just to make sure I'm being transparent and accurate, then we'll get into opening these figgies. Later on, it was basically retconned that the Age of Apocalypse did not end. I won't spoil how it ended in the comics, but it essentially survived the apocalyptic ending that took place, and it became its own splinter universe. I can't remember the actual number they assigned it. The normal Marvel universe is 616. There's however many of them, right? Screw Marvel. I still use the numbers. I don't care. They tried to do away with that stuff. I love it. And they essentially launched a bunch of prequel books that talked about everything that happened before what we saw in the original books. We had some books part of the proper Age of Apocalypse wave where we actually did get into some flashbacks as well, like what happened to the Avengers and the other human heroes that were in that universe. That was one of the more fascinating parts to me, that they kind of touched upon that. And then we also had a lot of flashbacks in the X-Men book that did lead into some other things happening in the continuity. You might be asking where X-Man is. You might be asking where Dark Beast is. I have a crazy X-Men detox going on right now. Almost all my X-Figgies are shoved in there except for my Jim Lee team. So I was able to get some of my Jim Lee team out. However, I was not able to dig back and get some different figures. Dark Beast is buried back there. I can't get to them. So again, unfortunately, we're not going to get back to those. But I do have X-Men. I do have Dark Beast as well. Here's the write-up for my most anticipated figure, Shadowcat. After being captured by Sabertooth, Catherine Pryde becomes the youngest member of the X-Men and trains to become the team's ghost assassin. So she does have the Wolverine-like looking claws. You saw the box art on the Spinneroonie going on. Of course, we have the Age of Apocalypse X-Men logo going on here. On top, we do have Age of Apocalypse on the top of the box. Bottom, legalese. We're not going to show that off for everybody. And there we go. There's our wave. Legion, Iceman, Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat, Sabretooth, Cyclops, Rogue, and Magneto. Magneto was a double pack figure that did not come with the Build-A-Figure piece, and there is Colossus. So let's get into this. So we have Kitty Pryde coming at us right now. Ooh, love the smell of a new figure. So she does come with the torso piece, as well as her claws, alternate hands. Obviously, the torso piece being the most alluring thing here, requiring you to get her. Also, a bit of a spoiler. She actually is Colossus's wife in the Age of Apocalypse, very much like their relationship they had in the actual comic books. Let's take a minute here and see who popped into the room while I was doing my little intro spiel. I saw some people popping in. Who did we get here popping in? Can't wait for Hawkeye. Stanley, I agree. That movie look, yeah, show. It's like a movie. Show looks freaking awesome. Trans Aaron, take care, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. Omega Weapon 13's in the house. AoA Wave 2 is definitely better than Wave 1. I agree. Except for the Build-A-Figure. We'll compare those later. Jay Girk, the collector. What's going on, Jay Girk? How you doing, buddy? NJ Tree says, who going to see Eternals? I want to see it, but man, they're really bringing me down. I know they're kind of bombing it right now on Rotten Tomatoes, probably for some stupid reason. But I will see it. I just don't know if it'll be this weekend. Spartan Toy Hunter, what's going on? This is true, the best BAF group of figures and parts of the year. Dude, I will let you know how I feel once we crack these things open. But thank you for being here. We'll see how it goes. OK Figures is in the house. What's going on, OK Figures? How you doing, sir? Thanks for being here at Live 705. So there is the background. Same for all the boxes. Love me a good background on these boxes. Love me a good Apocalypse background. So let's get into this. I'm not going to spend too much time on the individual figures just because, obviously, I want to get through them all and get to the Build-A-Figure. So jumping right out at me here, I think it was NJ Tree or I can't remember who it was, I'm sorry, had said that there is an alternate head sculpt. I mean, actually, I think it was Jimmy Hahn messaged me about it and said that the eyebrows are different on different figures. So there's a running change where her eyebrows aren't as thick. So here you can see they're kind of darker on the head sculpt. Look at it in there a little bit more. I will say that it looks like they kind of made her a little bit more endowed, I'll leave it at that, than some of the female figures. Maybe it's just the paint job. I don't know. But that's kind of crazy when you look at that profile. You don't see that too often in Marvel Legends. We get the X belt, which I really love that they went to the detail to put the X-Men logo here. We do have the alternate hands. And the claws look like they are going to pop into the gauntlets here. So let's get her up on the stand. It looks like your typical female buck. Big, juicy torso piece here for plastic. Let's get that off to the side with the leg over here. I'll try to keep it on camera, but I guess my name might block it a little bit. So there that is. And let's get these claws out of here and see how this is going to work. Honestly, I watched reviews when these all first came out. I have barely watched them since. So I did not go ham preparing for this. So I will see how I do. Alternate fisted hands, as you can see right here. I'm going to put that off to the side so I can put those in little accessory baggies later on. And it looks like we're going to have to pop the hands off, I guess. And then these are going to come off. So let's really quickly see. Let's actually just do it with this hand, how this is going to work. I'm guessing this just pops right off, and it does. You can see very thin wrist, which means this will just pop on over the top, I'm assuming, like so. And then the hand will just pop right back in. I guess I should probably rotate this to the front. Or no, it would be the back, I suppose. Yeah. So let's get to the back here. And just to give you an idea, if you weren't sure, I don't recall watching reviews about this. So again, I'm just kind of figuring out while I go. And boom, there you go. So you have the alternate wrist pieces here, the gauntlets, I guess with the retracted sort of claws. And then here you get where a little bit locked. She actually will have the claws out. So this is a very, very soft rubber, as you can see. For what it is, it's okay. You know, I'm not going to mess around with it too much right now. I'm not going to take time to put the other one on because I do want to get through and talk to you guys and bust out the rest of these figures. But I don't want to lose these. So I'll put these back in the tray with her other pieces. So she looks cool, and we will get her busted out again at the end with her husband, Colossus. But not a terrible entry into what we're dealing with here. So let's get her next to the other character with claws. The next figure, I was the least excited for, however you want to say it, is this guy. Loved the character in AoA. However, I feel like they did not do him justice here with what they could have potentially done with this particular figure. So I'll let that rotate, take a look at it while we say hello to some people who are joining us in the chat. Who we got cracking in here? Okay, Figure says, checking out Eternals on Friday. Ryan Sweeney in the house. How you doing, Ryan? What's going on, sir? Thanks for being here, man. Omega Web 13 says brown and black eyebrows. Thank you. I was kind of thinking of them as like being full or, you know, more thin. But yeah, brown or black, good way of putting it. Ryan says, are you saying she is a brick house? I'm not saying anything. Jay Kirk says, I'm loving all these AoA on your screen. Thanks, man. I will say I did watch MCU Collectors review. I remember specifically seeing that. And he managed to get all of his AoA on camera. I'm going to try to at least get them on frame. Again, Dark Beast and X-Men are just buried back further behind my layered X-Men D-top. I wasn't going to take apart the entire X-Men lineup over there for fear of just having a real mess to clean up later. So I got some of them out for comparisons from my regular shelf. All right, so Cyclops on the back. There's our read-up. And again, sorry I'm kind of rushing through, but I want to get to everything tonight. Cyclops helps prisoners escape from Apocalypse's prison camps in an attempt to be a force for good in a harsh dystopian future. Spoiler alert, he is not the same Cyclops you would expect. He starts this story as, let's just say he starts on the villain side. Very interesting, the fact, if you'll notice here, as we look at his eye momentarily, I'm trying to stay organized here tonight, you'll see, and you can't really see with the hair, the reason his hair is over his left eye is because he lost an eye. And if you didn't notice this, our character Wolverine is missing a hand. So he's a legitimate Cyclops. Wolverine doesn't have a hand. Of course, Jean Grey is always the freaking center of their feud. So you can probably infer that Cyclops is the guy who took Wolverine's hand, and that Wolverine is the lad who took Cyclops' eye. Cyclops, I'm not going to get into it too much. In the freaking beginning of the comics, he is a bad guy. He works with Mr. Sinister, so they kind of played upon that whole idea. Because obviously him and Sinister have always had the background together. But again, it's that Bucky Cap mold. They did a lot with the arm here and kind of added some extra molding in. It's relatively accurate, I guess, to a point. What I don't like is because they put these chunky molds on the elbows above the elbow, you don't get much articulation. Basically, you get single jointed elbows in the Bucky Cap mold, which kind of stinks. A lot of gold going on. They could have done more with this guy than they did. Head sculpt. I don't know. You guys let me know in the chat or in the comments afterwards. But I really think it was a tie for me between him and Shadowcat, who I was least excited to deal with. Again, I did not even bother. That ankle's completely locked. I did not even bother to get out a Cyclops to compare him to because I didn't want to have to deal with it. And he's such a not great guy. He's probably not even going to stand because this is completely locked right now. And I don't really want to, I don't want to force that and break it, even if he's not my favorite figure. So there is Cyclops. Obviously, love triangle going on with Wolverine and Jean Grey right here. So we'll talk more about that at a later time. But let's get him off to the side. Unfortunately, I don't think... Oh, wait, I forced the foot. I shouldn't, but I did. Ugh. I think I might have forced it too far to stand, though. Let's see. That's really locked pretty tight. I don't know. Yeah, I might be able to get him to stand or lean in the back. That's probably about it. Which drives me nuts because I want all these guys standing as best I could get them on screen. Sorry if I'm ignoring comments, guys. I think this guy's going to be a disaster. I'm not going to be a fan of this over the long run, I can tell you already. You're never starting the right... Oh, man. You're never starting on the right foot when the guy won't even stand. So I'm just going to put him over here out of the way. So Cyclops, not a fan of what's going on with that guy at all at this point in time. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, Figure says it's always the right ankle that locks up. Yeah, dude, I'm going to have to get the hair dryer out on that one. That won't be a Deadpool bath, though. That'll just be a hair dryer I bust out. All right, so next figure, we're about halfway through the wave. Magneto. And again, I'm going in order of the ones I was most excited about as we work our way through. Let's see. Forfeather says he's so for me and was a pass. That may change if I could find him in person, though. With AoA, I kind of want them all, but I said the same thing with House of X, Powers of X, and I'm ready to melt down my Jean Grey because the feet stink, the legs are warped, It's a terrible figure. It's undersized. So again, I go all in on these because I love the storyline, but then the figures don't necessarily always match up as they should. So, all right, let's get into Magneto since we're already 20 minutes in. You got to look at the box art. Here is the write-up. Again, Magneto is the leader of the X-Men in this universe. Magneto casts off his anti-human sentiments and carries on Xavier's dream of peaceful coexistence, therefore founding the X-Men. Also, again, if you don't have a background in the storyline, he is married to Rogue, which, again, what they did, which was nice, was none of the relationships were completely out of left field. They kind of looked at the actual X-Men comics and said, what can we do that we've kind of thought about doing and teased? And then they went that direction. Like, for instance, having Wolverine and Jean Grey be a couple in AoA, they also went on to do the same thing regarding Magneto and Rogue, because they always teased relationships with the fact that Wolverine and Rogue, Magneto and Rogue could actually touch each other. Magneto does not come to Build-A-Figure piece, so he is the figure without a piece that comes with him. So essentially, he is the guy who, if you want to say is unnecessary, is unnecessary. Personally, I can't imagine not having this, considering he's the leader of the X-Men, and he does have a big showdown with Apocalypse at the end of the series. I won't say what happens regarding that. Everybody, cheers. Happy Wednesday. By the way, this is my Boondock Saint koozie from New Orleans when we were on a little trip with Six Packs. It's a Boondock-themed bar from the Boondock Saints movie. Unfortunately, I had one for a bottle and I lost it. Here's the extra head. Let's get that up there. You also have power effects with Magneto, which you always got to love getting some sort of extra effects with figures. Of course, they're purple. Let's get those out here. And hopefully Magneto will be a better standing character. I hate this freaking cape stuff. I've talked about it before. I hate it. I know it's only plastic, but I feel like it's going to ruin my figure every freaking time. I need to dig through to get to this stuff, so I do not appreciate that. Maybe they're going to get away from it now, hopefully. We also have two alternate fists, which I'm not going to deal with right now. Punching fists for Magneto. So let's check him out. I'm cool with this guy. I think it was not Mezco. Help me out, guys. Who put one of these out? Not Rebel Tech. I'm probably forgetting the name of the company. Did put one of these out kind of when this one came out. Magneto with the longer hair is accurate to the comic. I do like the purple that they used with the kind of reddish color. It looks good. It's a nice matchup of colors. He stands beautifully. So when a character stands that well, I am digging it. Here's the head sculpt up a little bit closer. I like the braids, but I think I'm probably going to go with the more battle-looking helmet and face right here. So let's get him up on the stand. The cape, I like the fact that it doesn't drag on the ground. That's pretty awesome. The hair looks good in the back, which I can appreciate. We have some pretty good bend going on in the cape right here. You can see the pieces going around the back and the front. I do like the way his hands are. It's like his, again, look good with the actual power effects when I put that on individually. Obviously, we do have the pins in the knees, so we're not getting pinless with this guy. However, again, I'm digging him. I'm glad I have him. I'm glad I didn't pass on this guy because it's going to look cool having him with Apocalypse on screen together as we kind of move forward with things here. Dilly Dilly, that's right. I agree. Okay, figures. Yeah, dude. If you get the opportunity, read this, man. Again, it's 90s. You know, temper your expectations. Some people will say they didn't enjoy it. I did. Mega Weapon 13 says, I wish they had sculpted Magneto's hair raising up like the box art. That would have been cool. I agree. That would have been pretty awesome if they would have decided to do that. Four Feather says he loves this freaking Magneto. Freaking awesome fig. I think it looks good. I really do. I completely agree with you that I do like it. And J Tree says, same feeling on plastic around plastic case. Yeah, it's just so aggravating. I always think something's going to go wrong. Thank you, Ryan Sweeney, SH Figure Arts. I could not conjure that company's name off the top of my head. Thank you. Mayfex says Four Feathers, and it was a nice one as well. Mega Weapon 13 says the plastic cape is way too hard. It should have been lighter, like the Supreme Doctor Strange. Yeah, I just like the fact that it doesn't like go so far back that he falls backwards. You know, there were some Loki figures, I believe, and some other figures where you can almost lean it back on the cape, which is good if he doesn't stand, but then it also weighs him backwards, and then he can't stand. So I kind of like the fact that at least he stands very well. The feet are very solid. Mama said Popular says the cape also sits nicely to the body. I agree. That's a great call. Sometimes you get that awkward kind of triangular cape going back, which, again, ways to figure down backwards, which I hate. OK Figure says, I hope we get a classic Magneto, a new Vulcan body. I think we're going to get a lot of figures on that new Buck. If anybody missed it, the Hasbro team at HasCon announced that the new Vulcan X-Man figure is essentially butterfly joints, and it's meant to be a brand new Buck. So we're getting, they're literally going to look at retiring the Buck that they use for the typical 6-inch Marvel Legend, like a Nick Fury Buck or the Cyclops Jim Lee Buck, and they're going to be using the this new improved base body, which I'm very excited about. OK Figure says, I can get through 90s recently reread. Yeah, Maximum Carnage. There you go. Oh, speaking of 90s, of course, because I love X-Men animated series, got to give them a plug here. They actually, in the X-Men animated series, did have a riff on this. They didn't call it Age of Apocalypse, but they called it One Man's Worth, and it was phenomenal. It very much makes it like Age of Apocalypse. They don't go as far as calling it that. Also, if you ever watched Wolverine and the X-Men, very underrated X-Men cartoon. I really enjoyed that. I think it was on Nickelodeon. I can't remember for sure, or maybe Disney XD. You can let me know in the comments. However, they teased Age of Apocalypse in the final episode, then they canceled it. So that would have been freaking awesome had they done an Age of Apocalypse there as well. These are both cool head sculpts. I don't know which one I'm going to use. I like that he looks so serious here, and the hair looks great. But I like how the hair comes out of the back of the helmet. That's definitely a novelty that I think is pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Which head sculpt do you like better? I don't even know if that's on all the way. The only problem is with this as well, you're not going to get a lot of tilt, a lot of movement. But yeah, there he is, Magneto. Digging this guy. Very cool. Very awesome. Stands very well. Let's get him up near the front because we're getting closer to the guy I'm excited about the most. So let's put Magneto right back here. And you can see the size comparison, how big that Apocalypse Deluxe really was. Really, really enjoyed that figure. I love the skull he comes with. I really wish we would have gotten San Diego Comic-Con that year to see Dwight, because supposedly he had like thousands of these little skulls. It was some kind of freaking awesome display. So that was kind of a bummer. We never got to see that, unfortunately. What we got going on in the chat here? Hey, what's going on? Eric Stream 21. How you doing, man? What's up? Next figure we're going to get to right here is going to be Rogue. So again, I'm doing this in the order that I'm the most excited for them for. So we've gotten through Magneto. We've gotten through Cyclops, who's off to the side because he can't stand at all. And we've gotten through Shadowcats and then Magneto. So we're about halfway through the wave now. We have Rogue and then two more on the side to open. Then we're going to build freaking Colossus. Kiwi Collector is in the house. How you doing, Kiwi? Cheers, my friend. Thanks for being here. Hope you're doing well on the other side of the world, in the other hemisphere. It's an AoA kind of night. Dude, don't ever apologize for being late, man. The fact that you stop by at all or even watch it after, you the man. So I appreciate that, Kiwi. So people were trying to guess who I picked up that Vulture for. Somebody thought I might have got it for Sleeping Collectibles. I feel bad if he needed one. They only had one there. I gladly would have hooked him up too. But Kiwi had said a while back, if I see a Vulture, can I help him out? Found one in the toy hunt, which was out on Tuesday. So Kiwi, I'll hang on to that till we find some more things for you. But eventually, sir, that'll be yours. Four Feathers welcoming Kiwi in. What's going on? OK Figure says, good to know. I'll have to check out X-Men in the movie. Yeah, Wolverine and the X-Men was pretty good. They kind of start the show with the premise that the X-Men are broken up already, and it kind of goes on from there. Kiwi says, NJ, I'm here now. He made it. That's all that matters. Omega Weapon 13 says, imagine Hasbro made a small, medium, large, and extra large standard Buck. Oh, man, it'd be incredible. I don't know what they're going to do. I feel they do have to do something better with the female Buck. I know they introduced Shriek recently. NJ Tree and I hating on the fact that Shriek's power is that she opens her mouth and shrieks and she's have an open head sculpt. That's hilarious and awful on their end, I suppose. But we are getting the new male Buck for Vulcan, the new female Buck that Shriek was used for. But I just feel, again, like they have like the little girl Buck for the females. I think that's what you were alluding to, Omega Weapon 13. They have like the little girl kind of size Buck, which they use for like Mara McTaggart and Jean Grey in the House of X Powers of X. Then they have like the grown woman Buck. And it's weird when they decide to use them and when they don't. So I don't really know what the story is with that sometimes. Here's Rogue. You saw her rotating on the base. Here is her right up. Rogue moves her way up the ranks of Magneto's X-Men, eventually leading a team of mutants to prevent the culling of humankind. Spoiler alert, she marries Magneto and they have a kid together. So they do have a kid in the comic. Little Charlie, believe it or not. Here, the Build-A-Figure piece we get, we have 2 fists for Rogue, and we get another arm for Colossus. We have 1 more arm besides this, and we get the punching hand for Colossus. So I really do like the fact that they did give us multiple fists to go with Colossus. They didn't need to do that, and they did. So good on them. I will say that's pretty great. So right away, I'm noticing with her, her feet are huge. And you know what? Normally, I would complain about that. But here's the thing. Feet on women's Marvel Legends tend to be freaking awful. I mean, Shadowcat's actually pretty good. But when they give them those freaking heels, those freaking wedges, I freaking hate it because they never want to stand right for me. So they gave her just really nice flat boots here. I like the bottoms because they did actually put like the tread on there, which again, they never need to do, but they did. I like the color scheme, which again is kind of a riff on her original color scheme. Head sculpt, the bangs are out of control. The bangs look kind of awkward, to be honest. I guess it's accurate, but the bangs are so far out. Look at this in the profile that it almost goes out like past her nose, which I guess could happen with bangs, but traditionally they drape down. The brown hair, I think, is done okay. We have peg hole in the back. I like how almost all the characters do have this ongoing motif here of the kind of like knobs on the top of their collar. Magneto had those as well. Morph had those as well. So I do kind of like how they did that. And I can also tell you that Sabertooth will also have those. But I do like this figure. I do like the color scheme. It's definitely going to pop on the shelf. It's definitely interesting take on Rogue. Again, as we said, they did give us 2 punching hands for her. I do not intend to probably mess with the punching hands right now, but because I know this was something that most people did want to see. Let me see if I can sneak over here because I have a lot of figures for comparison coming up. We do have the Rogue from the Target release. So this was the Target exclusive. I wish they'd given her a belt, but I'm guessing in the comics she didn't have one. So there's our Jim Lee Target Rogue. Obviously, she has on the leather jacket with the X symbol, which was very much, oh, there they all go. It always happens, which is very much synonymous with her look from the X-Men comics. Needless to say, in the comic books, they did not have her wearing anything like that. Sorry if I screamed too loud into the camera there. I was sensing colossal doom because I have so many figures on the freaking thing. That Rogue is being unfriendly, so we're going to pull her off. Listen, Sugar, I don't know why you can't stand for me here. But you got the idea. We got a pretty good comparison out of them. Let's get Muttley out the way. Sugarman goes down, they all go down, buddy. All right. It's not a Disavowed live stream. That was somebody getting dumped and falling, right? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get proactive here and get him back in this little pose everybody's putting him in before. Here we go. So here they are one more time. I'm not going to try to put them on the rotating base again, but you can get a good look at them here. Obviously, the profile, let's just say, is slightly different, and not trying to transfix on anything tonight, but just comparing the two since they are similar. Obviously, the hair sculpt's much different. Face sculpts actually look pretty similar, believe it or not, if you kind of get in there, take a close look. But there is our Jim Lee Rogue. There is our Age of Apocalypse Rogue, who again is married to Magneto in the actual comic book. So we'll get her back here in the back of the with her husband. See if we can get her posed right in front of him here. It was the other Rogue who wouldn't stand, not her. There we go. I'm digging that. Maybe we even slide her over just a little bit here. Yeah, let's try to get her just a little more of a front way so I'm not having her screen out Magneto's face. There we go. All right, now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. We're getting down to the 2 figures I was most excited for in the wave. We're also getting down to building that Build-A-Figure. So here is Iceman. So Iceman, is the second most excited I was for a figure in this wave. This looks so much like the Iceman they put out back in the day in the 5-inch line. I was going to dig out my old 5-inch Age of Apocalypse figures. I didn't do it. They did a great job with them for what they were. And actually, I do have 1, or I'll say 2, set aside for the next reveal here in the next unboxing. But this looks very similar to the one from back in the day. I would say check out Toy Shiz. He does an awesome job of showing these retro, older carded figures compared to the new ones. So again, that's his spiel. He's great at it. So check out Toy Shiz. He definitely has an Age of Apocalypse comparison to the older figures. So this looks really great. And again, I love the side box art, how Apocalypse is front and center. I should say above, I guess, everybody. But this just looks really cool. I'm very excited to get him out of the packaging. Let's see what's going on in the chat before we get to that, before we crack him open and keep on moving forward. Kiwi said, I got him saying that already. We talked about that. Okay, Figure says, Disavowed, I lost track. Have you found that They Live Roddy Piper? I have not yet. I've not found him yet. The Mattel version I've not seen yet. No, I'm trying to track him down. That will be a pickup for me. Kiwi says, dude, thank you so much for the score. Hey, man, no problem, dude. I know it's hard getting stuff over there. So again, you've been supporting the channel since day one, so you're welcome. No worries, buddy. And Jay Tree says my store only has Rock and Cena. Same thing, man. I got tons of those around me, but no, They Live. Kiwi says Legends should be butterfly, double elbows, double knees on every figure. I agree, and I think Kiwi that's what this Vulcan's going to be. I'm pretty sure that's what we're getting. It's going to be a mid-sized figure. It's a larger figures. Obviously, can't use that buck, but the standard 6-inch figure they use will. That's a big-footed person. I agree. Hope we get an oversized animated. That would be cool, dude. Yeah, we don't really have a comic accurate Sabertooth. I do have him here to compare later on. It's the best one we have, but it's not great. Eric Stream, I'd love to see Sabertooth done on the Omega Red. Yes. If we got Sabertooth on Omega Red, that would be awesome. Completely agree. They don't use that buck enough. I can think of Warpath and Omega Red using that buck. Maybe even Monster Venom. Hey, what's up, Alyssa? What's going on? Hi. Thanks for stopping by, 1175. All right, so there is our Iceman. Let's get him out because we are already at 36 minutes, and we don't want to have this thing go long if we don't need it to. I don't know if I cut this yet or not. I don't think I did. But box art is great. Here's the back of the box. Iceman joins with the X-Men to stop Apocalypse and prevent the catastrophic culling of humankind in a harsh dystopian future. They use that word culling a lot because that was Apocalypse's goal, obviously, to eliminate all of the humans and only the strong can survive. I would have liked to have gotten Sunfire off of the stand in the back to do a comparison of the fire and ice look. I will probably do that on Instagram later on when I get the opportunity, because I want to keep this thing moving. I don't want to fuss around and knock people over. He comes with the other arm and the other alternate fist. Let's get him out of the packaging, take a look at the figure, and get those Build-A-Figure awesome pieces out of there too. And since I haven't gotten it out, here is the arm from Rogue. We'll put that up here. And there is the alternate fist, which we will probably not have time to mess around with, but there it is for him. And then since we just got those out, here's our arm from Iceman. That's the right arm, I believe. So let's put it on the side so I recall that for later. And we have the alternate fist as well. And let's get Iceman out. And oh man, this is fantastic. Look at the hands. The hands are cool because you get like the extension of the ice. We might have to put those on. So here is our Iceman. We get the feet, which look pretty cool. Oh, okay. This is awesome. I am really digging this figure. If you had, look at the head sculpt. Oh, that's so freaking cool. That probably looks cool with lights behind it or something. That's probably too high up for you to see, but I don't want to mess around. But this would look awesome with the light behind it is translucent. Double jointed elbow. Oh man, this is going to make the other Iceman look so horrible in about a minute or two when I compare them. Jagged ice coming off him in the back. The original one that was from back in the day when we were kids, this piece slid up and down. I actually put that every year on my Christmas tree. I have an action figure Christmas tree that the GF and I throw together. And he is one of the figures that we do put on the tree. And not NJ tree, the Christmas tree. And then we have put other Christmas decorations as well. But I like putting all my old figures on there. So, okay, brace yourselves right now. Everybody take a deep breath and just be ready. Make sure you're sitting down, because this is the freaking Iceman that they gave us on that retro card. And this is what we get for Age of Apocalypse. I am sorry, but wow. Look how incredible that looks. I turn the light on it again compared to this guy. Now, at least this guy had butterflies, which I did enjoy. I think that's the Silver Surfer body. And again, I got him for $5 at GameStop. So he holds up the Iceman spot in my Jim Lee X-Men setup in my DTOF well enough. But man, how much better is this freaking Age of Apocalypse? I mean, I can't even. I can see why people are saying it's the best figure in the wave. What can I say? What do you guys think regarding this Iceman? Let's check out the, hey, Alyssa, thank you. What everybody has to say. Kiwi says, I'm such a sucker for translucent action figures. Dude, agreed. I want to put light behind him so bad, but I didn't prepare. And last time I did that, I kind of moved my top light. Too much going on this table right now for me to deal with that. They need to use more of the movie Venom buck. Agreed, Omega Weapon 13. They do. That is a great buck. I never bought that figure, and I kind of regret it. I bought the Monster Venom because it was so huge. But, like, having seen that, I might pick that up. I'm kind of worried it's going up in price right now. That might be a sudden purchase at New Jersey Toy Show if I see it. NJ Tree says, wonder how light shines through. I agree, man. I was thinking the exact same thing. The older Iceman is more of an amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, they wanted him to be out there to go with the Firestar, I suppose, in the Spider-Man. But still, like, I don't know. But yeah, so anyways, I thought I would compare. And again, at least this guy did have the butterflies, which are kind of cool. So I'm a sucker for the butterfly joints, like most of us are. So I can see why there's some benefits, but this figure is incredible. I'm not going to put the hands on. I was going to, but we are running low on time tonight. But the hands look so cool the way they extend out. But this guy looks freaking cool. I really enjoy this figure, and I am almost positive he is going to be probably very close to being my favorite figure in this wave. But we are going to put out, I'm actually going to move him because I want to use him later. We are going right now to bring out what I thought would be my favorite figure in the wave. I really thought this would be my favorite, and it is this guy. This is essentially a Build-A-Figure to begin with. The size and weight of this guy. When you get him in hand, it is a heavy, chunky figure. It is very close, as I said, to being Build-A-Figure size and quality. We knew we were going to have to get him because we had the Wild Child waiting, and there's no way they're going to do him and not do Sabertooth. I honestly thought we'd get him as a deluxe figure. When they showed him in the wave, I was very, very shocked and very, very surprised. So this would be the only thing I set aside from the old school, from when I was a kid, 5-inch line, and that is Sabertooth and Wild Child. So really quickly, I got to give him the floor. Legs were terrible. It was so hard to get him to stand. I can kind of get him there. I'm going to regret doing this, and again, interest of time, but you see what they were going for here. I doubt he's going to stay. He stayed. Oh my God, until he falls. But this was the original that they put out from the 5-inch line. I freaking loved it. I didn't have every figure, but I had a lot of them. And I still have a lot of them that, again, I put out. Again, articulation is going to be limited on such a figure, but I love the idea that they gave us the Wild Child. Obviously, he's kind of undersized from what he should be, but we'll get a better look at what they look like in originality here as we go through. But definitely digging how that looks as we go through. Jay Girk, best Iceman ever. I agree. Stan says they still need to make Falcon's suit from the show. Yes, they do. NJ Tree says, what's the special announcement? So, guys, I wanted to just kind of give a thank you to everybody who does support the channel. Hey, Studio, what's up, man? How you doing? And again, it's nothing huge. It's nothing major. But I just wanted to give some sort of thank you to everybody who supports. As you are aware, I have been on a tangent with trying to collect, maybe even say hoard, the Marvel Legends trading cards. So I know a lot of you showed interest in those and never got your hands on them. So what I'm going to say right now is, before we get to ripping him open, as a small thank you, if you are interested, if you shoot me your address or your P.O. box or whatever it is that you have, and again, it's for people who are currently here right now. So again, I'm not going to open this up to people on the playback. So anybody who's here right now, if you'd like a Marvel Legends trading card, this is a small thank you, just a gesture of gratitude. Shoot me over on Instagram your address and whatever name you would like on the envelope. I'm not going to do tracking for these, obviously. I did make my own set. I gave Jay Girk a set. He's a local friend, obviously. However, I would like to say thank you. So if you'd like a Marvel Legends trading card, I don't have enough to really honor requests. But if you over on Instagram just want to shoot me a direct message or a private message with whatever name you would like on the envelope, I'm just going to send it out in a card or an envelope and a thank you card. And again, it's nothing major. It's nothing huge. But I would just like to give back and say thank you to people since I just, have gratitude towards you being here. So feel free again to shoot me, if you'd like a Marvel Legends trading card, your address and name over on Instagram, and I will gladly send you out a personalized thank you card along with one of the Marvel Legends Wave 2 trading cards. So again, I told you it wouldn't be anything huge, but I love the cards. I think they're neat. So if it's something you were interested in, hit me up on Instagram at disavowed_12. Again, let me know what your name is over here on YouTube. If you have a different Instagram name, I may not know you necessarily. I'm bad at that, just so that I know you were here. Because again, I don't mind hooking people up, but if somebody comes across this video who I've never met, or I don't know, I should say I don't know from being online. Again, I'd rather help hook people up that were here and then support the channel. So yeah, hit me up over on Instagram, guys. Send me whatever address you want me to use, along with your YouTube name if it's any different, so I know who you are. And of course, whatever name you want on the envelope, and we'll work that out. So Sabertooth, I'm so pumped for. After betraying Apocalypse and making his escape, Sabretooth joins with the mutant rebels, the X-Men, to fight for the good in a harsh dystopian future. So Cyclops, at the beginning of the story, is fighting with the bad side, and Sabretooth leaves the bad side and joins the good side. So interesting enough, they did give us the different alternate hair pieces, which are basically identical. From what I'm told, most people think it's because they're worried if one broke in the package, you'd have an additional one. Here we obviously get the smallest Build-A-Figure piece, but necessary piece, which is the head, as well as we get the ribbon for the back of his hair. So as we are getting close to the end here, we're down to 15 minutes or so. Let's get the ribbon out for Colossus's head over here. Let's get out one of the Sabertooth ponytails, because we don't need both, at least not right now. And let's get, oh, and also we have an alternate head, and we have the alternate hand pieces for Sabertooth. This thing is freaking huge. There is our Colossus head sculpt. This looks freaking awesome. I can't wait to see this Colossus compared to the other ones that I have. Here is our alternate Sabertooth head sculpt. And here is our freaking Sabertooth. Has a, I'll say, a crap-eating grin on his face here. This looks great. And again, I mentioned earlier how almost all the figures had that motif going with like these just like notches or whatever. Also, Wild Child has those too. But big, huge, chunky figure. See how the leg goes. So there is your knee. You don't get it all the way back. It goes about that far back if you were curious. I know I didn't do articulation on the others. I figured you guys have watched enough reviews, but I figured for Sabertooth we will. Single jointed elbows because he is so freaking jacked. You can put those fists on there and probably get a pretty good pose out of him as well. And needless to say, he will go with Wild Child, which is freaking incredible. So let's get him back on his flat-footed feet. I feel like the knees are a little bit stumpy here. Hopefully he stays. There is that head sculpt there. And I'll tell you what, let's get the mean-looking head sculpt on there as well. And again, guys, I'm sorry if I'm missing any comments tonight. I'm trying to keep up, but I'm also trying to get to the Build-A-Figure. And of course, this is going to want to go on. I should have stuck with the first one. There we go. No pop sound, but there's the more angry head sculpt, which looks freaking cool. I feel like he's not quite flat-footed. I don't think he's going to fall. I don't know. Let's get him up here. So there is Victor Creed. He is a massive freaking figure. And actually, here we go. I can put him a little bit taller because he was kind of leaning forward at the torso. So there is Victor Creed. This guy's huge. Now, to give you an idea, a comparison, here is our Sabertooth, Jim Lee Sabertooth, the closest we have, that I believe was the Apocalypse wave, which is ironic enough. Look how freaking much taller our AoA Sabertooth is. Like, this is maybe, yeah, that's what I probably think of when I think of a comic book Sabertooth, because he towers over Wolverine. And when you have Wolverine with this guy, they're not that much of a difference of size. So he is awesome. They could have made him a Build-A-Figure or a deluxe and made us charges a couple extra bucks. They didn't. They packed it in. Very cool arm hair on the left and right side of his arms. Came out great. The muted colors I like. Much brighter over here. Obviously, he didn't have the mane over in the comics. There's a very cool like 3-page part of one of the Age of Apocalypse comics, probably like Astonishing X-Men or Amazing X-Men, where it's a flashback, and they do establish Sabertooth and Wolverine did know each other when they were younger. So they still do have this really cool kind of tie-in, kind of like they still worked in Alpha Flight or Department H or whatever it was together. This is dangerous, but I'm going to do it. So that was kind of cool how they did that. Here is our comparison. These two don't really fight at all, from I recall, because they're on the same side, basically, although Weapon X is kind of like a free agent, so to speak, along with Jean Grey. But there he is. Even though he has the X-Men belt in the comics, he's not really with the X-Men. He's kind of working parallel to them, but not necessarily with them. Now let's get these two. Oh, there they go. Let's get these two guys together. I've been looking forward to this. I'm going to try to pick her back up because I'm really going to want as many of these guys standing at the end as possible without a massive issue, hopefully. So there they are there. All right, so let's see how we can do this with our Sabertooth and with our Wild Child. Not going for any kind of crazy poses, again, interest of time tonight, but we can at least have them chilling together on camera in some capacity, since that's what a lot of us have been looking forward to seeing for a long time since this first came out. And again, the chain is meant to wrap around. It's not bendy wire or anything. I'm just trying to make it work for now. And basically what you're going to have to do is essentially have Sabertooth holding it. In the comic, it basically had like a wrap around his arm. I guess it probably went around that arm over there. So you can kind of fudge it a little bit if you wanted to and have him kind of holding it with that hand. So again, there's going to be different things we can probably arrange with this. But for now, that's just going to have to do. So you get the idea how it's supposed to look compared to the other one I had from when I was a kid. But it looks cool. The oranges aren't exactly the same color, but they're very, very close, as you can see. I think this is a little tad bit lighter. That's a little bit darker. But again, you get the idea of what they were going for here. So not too bad. What we got going on here in the chat? RL, what's going on? How are you? Hope all is well. I'm doing well. How you doing, man? He is a huge figure for sure. I agree. I do not think he's on the Hercules body, but I'm not sure, to be honest. I can't guarantee that I am right about that. I actually don't know what base body it is. So if anybody else does know, feel free to talk about it in the comments, either now or again a little bit later on in the comments afterwards. All right, the moment is here. Let's get to it. I'm so excited to freaking build this Build-A-Figure. I've been looking forward to this since they announced it. It looks freaking so awesome. And we're really close on time, but we're going to get it done. We are going to get it done. Let's get him on camera. Slide Legion over a little bit as best we can to make this work. Wild Child, close enough. All right, so let's get to it. So Colossus is our Build-A-Figure. Let's get first, here we go. Let's get first our torso piece. All of this is removable from what I've heard. You can take off this top part and just basically have him bare chested. They did a really nice job with the sculpt on this, but I don't think he looked too great bare chested, to be honest. So let's get the legs in first. So here are our legs. They look like they match up pretty well. I'm pretty sure I had that correct. So let's see if we get any kind of pop sound here. All right, not much of a pop, but it did securely go in place. Here is our other leg. I'll be honest, I did not need to struggle nearly as badly as I have in the past with some other legs of Build-A-Figure pieces. That went in much smoother than I expected it to. And you can see already how big of a figure this is actually going to be. This guy's huge. Let's get his arms in next. So let's go with this guy here. I'm going to get quiet so we hear a pop. Yep, you get a little bit of a pop sound here. I always like when you get that satisfying pop sound because you do know that it's securely in place. Here's our other arm piece here. Let's get that thing in. And again, a little bit of a pop. Be careful you line it up right because it wasn't quite lined up with the joint so you don't break it off. But that is definitely in there securely. Look at that wingspan. That is freaking cool. That is a hell of a wingspan. Let's get our headpiece on first because I've seen people try to put the ribbon in first and it's very hard to get that to stay. There's our head. Of course, the ball is not going to want to agree with me because I'm trying to hurry. Come on, man. Come on, man. Head not wanting to go on. I don't want to break this thing either on camera because you will hear me use words that will get me banned from YouTube for the rest of my life. The head does not want to go on, guys. I'm struggling here. We got to do it off camera. Hang on a second. Unfortunately, I'm really struggling getting that head on. I don't want to have any issues on camera where I can't get it all the way. So give me a moment here off camera to get this thing on and apply a little bit of elbow grease. Man, it does not want to go on here. All right, I think I got it finally. Okay. I'm not going to lie. No, it's still not on all the way. Yeah, so if you do pick this up, the head is really a struggle to get on. I still don't have it on all the way. But for our purposes now, I'm going to leave it because I don't want to take a chance on breaking it. I'm going to heat up that hole a little bit to make sure I get that on properly. I do probably think I can still get the ribbon on in the back. And again, guys, we're going to be calling it a day in a minute or two here. But as I said earlier, if you would like a Marvel Legends trading card as a thank you, please feel free to get in touch with me over on Instagram at Disavowed_12. Again, just let me know what your name was here on the chat so I can hook you up with that. I'm not going to fight with this right now, unfortunately. It is a struggle. I did not hear it was so hard to get that head on there, so I don't want to take a chance on breaking it. But hopefully you enjoyed this extended look at the Age of Apocalypse Wave 2 figures. Before we get out of here, as I said, as a thank you to all of you who do support the channel, feel free to shoot me your YouTube name so I know who it was that was here, along with your address if you feel comfortable doing that. Please, if you are under 18, ask parental permission. If you are a younger kiddo, as I'm used to adult collectors. But I would like as a thank you again to hook people up with a Marvel Legends trading card from GameStop. So I will send that to you in a thank you card, personalized to you for supporting the channel. Obviously, I'll take care of the stamp. But I just want to show my gratitude for all of you. We will be eventually, again, having a little bit broader of a giveaway with some action figures at a certain point in time. But at least wanted to get something out to you as a thank you. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here tonight. I really do appreciate you supporting the channel. I had a fantastic time building Colossus and showing all the Age of Apocalypse figures here on camera, including Cyclops, who would not stand. So if you're watching this on the playback, please leave a comment down below. If you're watching live, if you wouldn't mind, please leave a comment below afterwards, letting me know what you thought of the live stream. Helps push the video out to other people. Next week, we'll be opening up the G.I. Joe Classified Barbecue, which I did receive from Target recently on a pre-order. So that came in this week. So we're cracking him open next Wednesday on Live at 7:05. If you're new, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Hit that bell for notifications so you know we post new content here on the channel, like our weekly toy hunts, like Live at 7:05. Instagram is Disavowed_12. We have daily content about toys and toy hunts over at the Instagram. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate you stopping by. Hit me up on Instagram for that free Marvel Legends trading card as a thank you. So take care. Stay healthy, and I'll be seeing all of you at the pegs.